Hey guys, welcome back. It's the end of another month, so that means it's time for another new music recap. We're going to be talking about some of my favorite records of February. So before we get into it, a couple stats first. I listened to 20 records this month, 19 of which were released in February. One came out back in January. Puts me up to a grand total of 33 records on the year so far. A lot of good records, very few that I didn't like, but 5 that really stood out that I want to highlight. I know I did 5 in January as well. That's not necessarily going to always be the case. It'll just be however many I feel like are worth talking about. But again, it's 5 for February. The first I want to mention quickly is the new Susto record. It's called Ever Since I Lost My Mind. This is a band that's been around for about half a decade now. Their first album came out in 2014. I first started listening to them when they came out with their 2017 release, which was called And I'm Fine Today. With their new album, they find a perfect balance between sort of more traditional folky songwriting and sort of fuzzed out alternative rock. I would recommend this band to anyone who's fans of mid-90s alt-rock bands like the Gin Blossoms or Toad the Wet Sprocket, groups that similarly found a balance between more traditional songwriting and 90s guitar rock. However, Susto is not afraid to take some unexpected left turns. Tracks like Está Bien and Cocaine give the record a little bit of a Tex-Mex feel, while the album's moodier tracks at times can recall bands like the Cowboy Junkies or Sunvolt. The second album that I want to mention is a record called Scenery by Emily King. This is a really great record that caught me by surprise. Records like this are why I listen to so many releases, because you never know when one is going to grab you unexpectedly. My music streaming service of choice has her listed as neo soul, but this is as much a pop record as anything. Great hooks, good beats, good production, good songwriting, good vocals. I'm still kind of learning about her and getting into her music. Apparently this is her third record, but only her second since her 2007 debut. I'm hopeful that this record will continue to grow on me, and one that I'm still into at the end of the year. And third, I want to talk about the new Cass McCombs record called Tip of the Sphere. I've been following Cass for quite a while and checking out his records anytime he puts one out. He's responsible for a few songs that I really, really love, especially County Line, which is one of my favorite songs of all time. But somewhat surprisingly, I've never really liked much beyond those few tracks. I've never gotten into a full album of his and really enjoyed it. But I gotta say, I'm really digging this new one. Probably start to finish, this is the most I've ever really liked one of his records. And it seems like there's a lot of depth to it, new things to discover with each repeated listen, and I'm really excited to keep listening to it. Also want to briefly talk about the new Julia Jacklin record called Crushing. As of this video, Crushing isn't really hitting me on the same level that her debut did. The songs aren't quite as immediate or memorable, but what this record does have is a level of intimacy that is deeper than anything on Don't Let the Kids Win. The songs seem like they're deeply personal, a lot of lyrical potency on this record. The vocals are right up front, like they're whispering in your ear. This definitely feels like a record that will dig its claws in deeper and deeper with each listen. I'd highly recommend Julia Jacklin if you like singer-songwriters like Sharon Van Etten, Angel Olsen, or Margaret Glaspie. And lastly, I want to talk about my favorite record of the month and my favorite record of the year so far. It's Texas Piano Man by Robert Ellis. Ellis came up playing country music in Houston. He very clearly went through a huge jazz phase and aspires to write songs like Randy Newman and Paul Simon. So if that amalgamation sounds interesting to you, Robert Ellis is definitely someone you're going to want to check out. He's an absolute monster guitarist, proving to be a killer piano player as well. He knows his theory, He's probably the most talented guy in any room that he's ever in. But to this point, he hasn't quite put all of these elements together to make a really, really great record. His first record, Photographs, had the tracks separated between sides of the record. The first side was all sort of folky songs. Second side was all country songs. When listened to it straight through, it didn't really flow that well. His second record was hampered by overly heavy emotional topics and slow songs, which again kept the record from really flowing that well. He started to turn a corner with his third self-titled record. This fourth one just is even better. By going fully piano songwriter mode, he seems a little more able to get out of his own way and just let the songs develop a little more naturally. However it happened, the Texas Piano Man is a record full of great tunes, a lot of humor paired with some powerful moments that will tug at your heartstrings as well. And I can't recommend it enough. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to hit like if you did, and subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, and most importantly, comment below. Let me know what you've been listening to and what other videos you'd like to see on the channel. Thanks.